Are you ready for some questions?
Let's jump into snacks.
Snacks. We have a question on snacks from Steven. He says, I'll start by saying I know snacking is not really the best thing to do. But let's be honest, it needs to happen from time to time. Snacking doesn't happen often, but I want to be prepared for those days I didn't really get to eat like I wanted to, or when I'm coaching all day and need a quick bit to carry me. Seems like the only snacks are either meat snacks, jerky and the like. A small number of nuts are okay, but as you've written about, it's easy to get that out of control without realizing it. I actually had to stop stocking nuts because it was way too easy to just grab handfuls or too much. So my question is, what can I potentially munch on to either hold me over in those times that snacks are nice, like watching a movie with the family? I have been using Chronometer, and it seems like veggies are pushing me over my carb numbers, and I wanted to see if I should be concerned about that, or because it's veggies, is it not an issue? I feel good as long as the carbs I consume are from vegetables or similar things. This part still confuses me a bit, but might just be old thinking I have to change.
Yeah, let's maybe start at that last part there. Some of the carnivore folks will cringe at this, but I've always looked at the kind of ketogenic diet, low carb level recommendations as it's a goal to eat your way out of ketosis by eating low glycemic load veggies, broccoli, kale, spinach, maybe even some carrots and stuff like that. Unless, this is the thing again, unless we have a situation in which the person really needs a specific ketone level, like a neurodegenerative disease or epilepsy, and even in those scenarios, the MCT oil enriched versions of these diets allow for a low glycemic load intake plus, goosing ketosis with some MCT, doing a little intermittent fasting, doing some exercise. All these things can goose ketone levels if that's a necessary thing. Above and beyond that, and again, a hat tip to my carnivore brothers and sisters, like I know for some folks the plant material doesn't really work, but for most people, I think that eating a ton of vegetable matter, some amount of fruit, like we get a mixed berry thing from
Frozen,
Costco,
yeah.
and a cup of the mixed berries, once you address the fiber, has like 9 grams of effective carbs. So even if you're doing a pretty strict ketogenic diet intervention, like you're doing keto gains and it's like super locked down, you could do 3 of those. Salud. You could do 3 of those a day and still be under your carb limits. So, and then like at the end of the day, like you just have to eat god awful amounts of like spinach and celery and stuff like that. So I really personally wouldn't worry about that. Like that isn't going to be the make or breaker. And again, this is all kind of context driven. What's the overall goal here? Mm-hmm. Are you trying to lean out? Are you trying to gain muscle mass? Are you just trying to live well? If you're just kind of in a maintenance live well scenario, then pulling a page out of Ted Naiman and William Schufelt's book, The PE Diet, try to really emphasize the amount of protein relative to the energy density of the food that you're eating. And so that means like if you cut up a bunch of carrot sticks and celery and go to town on that while you're watching movies with the family, like, God, it's going to be so hard to overdo that versus like a handful of macadamia nuts or something, which are delicious and they're healthy and that's great. But like there's a massive energy calories, density there, it's just easy to overeat that. The interesting thing is I don't really weigh out my protein at this point. I don't even really track my carbs that much. The main thing that I track is my fat, because the carbs that I'm eating, and because of some gut issues, I've kind of whittled down the number of carbs that I'm doing. We're probably going to do some sort of a gut reset within the Healthy Rebellion with Dr. Ruscio at some point, and I'm hoping that we can, I would actually like to add some latitude there, but I eat mainly low glycemic load carbs, the ones that are a little more intermediate, like the berries. I know exactly, I dump it in a bowl and like it's within, very, very tight parameters on that. But the thing that I can easily overdo would be the nuts. And so again, circling back to the question, what are good snacks? You either weigh out the nuts, you do something like the jerky.
Chicharrones are a good one.
Chicharrones are a really good one.
We do those a lot, like if you're watching a movie.
Yeah.
And it's that crunchy
kind of
the mouthfeel as well.
Yeah. And that's kind of the only other thing that I could think of. I mean, a little bit of dark chocolate. I don't know. I'm kind of flailing on this. Like,
Yeah.
it's,
I mean, you could do things like, I mean, it depends on how involved you want to make it, but deviled eggs, like you could do like little appetizer-y things. We have a friend who makes this amazing spicy buffalo keto chicken wing dip thing with celery, and it's fabulous. It's got a lot of dairy in it, so if you don't tolerate dairy, it wouldn't be appropriate, but
it's amazing.
But those are more like appetizer-y things. But like if you're just sitting watching a movie.
Oh, the girls will eat sea snacks.
Sea snacks are great.
The toasted seaweed.
Yep. Sea snacks are great.
What else?
We'll put a little salmon salad in there sometimes.
Yeah.
Man, Sally, when we went to dinner at Sally's house, she made sea snacks with a slice of avocado.
Oh, that's right. And she had a little bit of the roe, and
that combination was just divine.
It was off the rails. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, that was really good. That was really good.
So.
And it was very satisfying too. It was very good, but it was also rich enough that if you had 4 or 5 of them, then it was kind of like, okay, I'm done. Yeah.
No, those were great.
Yeah.